Welcome guys, welcome. We're going to be playing some Armoured Brigade 2 today, which is sort of a game that people have actually mentioned a few times now with their Broken Arrow content that I've been doing over the last couple of weeks, and just sort of saying that they prefer this game, which is a great game as well. Like I actually, if I'm trying to sort of think about what I like about the about this one versus Broken Arrow, etc., etc., it certainly like works very well with the tactical pause. I think where Broken Arrow really does sort of really come into its own is the immersion aspect of just the user experience of being able to sort of zoom in very easily on units. This game is a bit clunky in that sense, but it's a great game, and so I thought we'd sort of play that one. Other things that I do want to sort of test out actually is that when you do an assault in this game, the timer I find is way too short. So that's actually something that I'm going to see if I can actually fix that before we get started, just to see if there's anything here that actually. This is actually where you can set up your pausing and stuff, which is actually awesome. I love this. So some of them, you've got to be a bit careful that it just ends up becoming too much. But it's the way I've got it set up at the moment. Like I've got a lot more pauses than the default. So there's actually like a lot of what's C-pan, C camera. I'm not sure what that is. That must be the letter C to pan. I'll put that one on. Actually, I don't know if that's new. The game has just been updated, which is actually why I thought I'd actually play it now. Scroll speed is too slow, and the terrain pop up, so 1.5 seconds before you get a pop up delay. I wonder if that's too slow as well. So scroll speed, I'm guessing if we zoom this one up, let's make it say about. I'll try it double the speed, and just see how that goes. We can always come back and tweak it. Auto save interval 10 minutes is fine, but yeah, just different pausing as things that sort of come up. It just means that when you set these things up, you've got the you've then got the game will then pause for you, so you can have a bit of a look. It's a real-time game with active pause. Hi, Ken Dog is saying, I've discovered you via trying to learn how to play Shadow Empire. Appreciate your tutorials very much. Thank you. I almost played that today. I was that close to playing Shadow Empire. It was literally when I had 3 games that I was thinking of playing. Actually, I had 2 games I was thinking of playing, and then I thought about this game and thought, actually, I'll play this one because people have been mentioning it. So Shadow Empire was one I thought, I should really. I was thinking of playing on a barren moon, and playing it just something where it's fairly small and compressed, so it wouldn't take too long to play out. So I do want to do that at some point. So and then they've got the other game I was thinking of playing was Xenonauts 2. So I was sort of tossing up between those two, but then I did think about this game, so I thought, why not? I'll play this one. Anyway, we've got that one in through there. So Kendall's saying, I really love the vibe of the game, but the main menu voice vocals get me chuckling a bit. With the, you mean in Shadow Empire? The main, like, it's the, I don't know how they've done those, to be honest. It's sort of, I'm not, if, I can't even remember them, to be honest. So I'm not sure which bits there that the female vocals are in. A lot of those. Remember, the game is sort of done by a single developer, so there's bits that are. And actually, I got to say, probably sound is not the main focus of Vic. Like, he doesn't sort of really spend a lot of time with that. I know that battle mode, like, is actually in the early days, was helping out a little bit with trying to balance some of the stuff. Sounds very amateur. Someone's girlfriend, I think, potentially, probably. I don't know, but no idea. Graphics wise, we're just going to keep this one here. What I'm actually looking for is something that's going to push out the timing of the game in here. So what I'll do is I'm going to go and battle positions and target reference points. But if I might leave that on, actually, I might throw that one on as well. I don't know if we'll play with that on. I want to play sort of fairly small, so let's just go back out. So if we go into a new game here, this game is awesome in the sense of the way that this bit of it works. If actually what I'll do is I'll just go to new game. I'm going to go to a single mission to start with, just to see about the assaults. Oh, hang on, no, that's round length. That's not it. So I need something that's going to be, I might just go back to a random map. Actually, I'll just go back out, press escape. Yep, so I'll just go to new game. I'll generate a mission. I'll just do it in the Ardennes, for example. I'll just pop one in here, and this will be like. But I don't really want this one to be what we do. I'll just go to done, and just see if I can actually change it now. So depending on what we do, this is a meeting engagement. Yeah, that's okay. Mechanized. Actually, where's the yeah, that's the, okay, that's just the basic setup for the opponents. So I'll just click on done there. Yeah, so meeting, what I want to do here is I want to go and set up, not defend, but advance. So we'll actually have an advance and just see if it's got victory points in through there. It's not changing. Can I change that? It's this estimated time limit is the problem. And I was hoping to figure that one out, like to actually push it. When you do this one, you actually then are assaulting. There's defend, meeting, and advance, essentially are the three that you end up getting. So advance means that you're actually then going to be pushing in against this particular location, which, yeah, it says estimated time limit 1 hour 52, but this is, I find this way too short usually when I'm playing. So yeah, I would love to be able to change that. Love to be able to change it. If I go back to meeting, see, it's the timing is the same no matter what you do. It sort of, it pushes you along in the game, and I don't like that aspect, which is a problem. And if I now just click on done, I'm then basically into it. I don't think I can actually sort of tweak it from here. Yeah, if we go that way, it's still 152. Yeah, no, that's I won't do that. Look, what I'll do is I'll just have to put up with it, but I might actually give that as feedback. Actually, just the just to sort of, yeah, to give that one some information back there. Anyway, let's actually start up our game. So I'm going to play, and there's a few different options to play in this game. So I'm going to set up an actual campaign. So we'll just go into new game. We're going to generate a campaign. So the game comes with a fair few missions, as you can sort of see through here. There's nothing here to change the timing. Yeah, I really wish there was. Anyway, there's a lot of missions that come with the game, just base missions. There are some that have been done online, but there's really no reason to do to actually make missions for the game, because it's so easy to make them sort of with the within the system itself. So I'll just go back to the main menu, new game. So they've got the single missions. They've got generate mission, which you just saw there, where I can just sort of go and create something. They do have a few campaigns where these are missions where the forces you go in with, you have to then look after them and sort of string them along. And so these are, I love these, but these are sort of like predefined on the actual maps that they've got. Some of them are dynamic campaigns where you actually go from mission to mission. If you lose, you then have to go back to a previous one and defend. So it's sort of like a lot of pushing around on the actual maps themselves, which is actually really good. Then you've got linear campaigns as well, which is your typical sort of campaign where you just go through mission by mission. So this is actually quite different. So these different linear campaigns, but the dynamic campaigns, we're going to play a dynamic campaign, but not within the context of the actual campaign system. So we'll just go back to main menu. What we're going to do is we're going to go into a new game. I'm going to generate a campaign. I love this. I love this aspect. And what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to go to minimum and then just up it slightly. So just to 2400. So fairly small map, so 2.5 kilometers square. We then actually have all of these different maps that we can then go and choose from. Now in the base game, it only had like the Ardennes and Fort Irwin National Training Centre as the actual ones that you've got. You can also download. People have been making maps like basically, for the game. And so there's a fair few online that people actually quite like. I should have actually maybe brought one of those in. That would have been interesting just to play a different map, I guess. But it doesn't really matter because these do change a lot. So if we've got the Fulda Gap, the Hof Gap, Lübeck, North German Plain, the Pilsen region, and then southeast Finland. So we've got a few different ones, and I can sort of chop and change who gets to play where. Let's go North German Plain. Did I do that one last time? I think I may have. Fort Irwin has got no trees, so this one here is just basically desert fighting. The other ones have all got, the Ardennes is going to be, of course, if you might have, I think maybe it was the Ardennes. Anyway, the Ardennes has got different forests. Maybe we'll just go back and play that one. That's the stock standard map. So I've got allow night battles, yes. Allow varied weather, yes. So they're all on at this stage. Player supply, 30%. What this one does is it allows me to replenish so I can change that around as well. Water is varied. Now, what this one does is water in the game comes in basically 3 flavours. Like if it's very, very shallow, it doesn't stop you at all. If it's sort of medium depth, there's different ways you have to then go and ford it. And then if there's finally, if it's sort of like deep, you can't cover it. But we do actually have some choices there where it goes into impassable, like you can make all water impassable. Fordable, all water is fordable. But varied just means it depends on the actual map itself. And so I'm going to use that one, but I think we'll go to the Ardennes. We'll just go and play on this particular map. Doesn't really matter which one we go to. So the way the game works, you can see that tiny little square around Bastogne back in through there, for example. I can sort of, if I go and click there, that would then be playing a city, trying to sort of work your way through the actual city of Bastogne, which is actually going to be a bit too crazy. Actually, it may even be that this might be too wooded for us to play this particular one. If we go to Fort Irwin, this one's very, very open, but you sort of then got to use terrain very effectively. So there's nowhere to hide on this particular map, and you can see how small the little 2.4 by 2.4 square actually is down through that other side. The Fulda Gap, I'll just get something that's fairly flat-ish. Hills won't really matter that much. This one here, you can see there the scale of the map is a little bit smaller than the other one, so the actual 2.4 is sort of showing up a little bit better. There's little towns every so often. You could even just sort of play across that sort of area where it's all fairly flat. Lübeck, very, very flat, open farmland. Big sort of, big area sort of running through there. This sort of water is a problem. That would be unfordable to get across that water. So we've got the city of Lübeck in through there. City fighting is difficult in this game. The North German Plain, we do actually have a lot of forest. We have a lot of hills there as well. I think I did play that one last time, so I won't play that one. This one here, we've got trees. We've got different areas in through here as well. Lots of little forested regions. Might be too much. Southeast Finland. Again, very, very, there's lots of water on this map. So getting across water here can be quite difficult as we just have a bit of a look through these regions. That can be very hard to actually cross over those. It can be a bit of a choke point. Fulda Gap. Don't know about going with this one here. It's a bit too flat, I think. Lübeck is way flat. North German Plain. Yeah, maybe we're still just playing here. But let's go from, that city's going to be too big. Looking for little towns. Actually, these towns are too large. The Pilsen region. Maybe this one here. Let's just go and play here. So the way it works is, so if you want to try and things cool, they have historical maps of hypothetical Cold War battlegrounds. It's what it is. It's actually just 1980s maps where they've curated based on 1980s information of real places in the world. Now, the actual campaign that we do, and this is where it gets fairly cool, is I can actually just go and this is how crazy this game can get. Like I can start from here, for example. I can just go and click. And I can sort of just tell it, okay, look, I'm going to go across to there. We're going to then have a city fight there. See how I'm sort of stringing things together? I'm just stringing together the way that the campaign would then sort of fall. Let's just say that we wanted to then have this river crossing go that way. When I finish that one off and then right click, it's then going to create a campaign around that loop. And so it's now waiting. It's now going to be creating like a massive campaign. This will be a monstrously large campaign. So it's still just thinking while it tries to build. And so all of these little squares now are the battle maps. We start off here. So that would be the first actual game that you then play. And then if we win that battle, like we would then have to go and fight this one, and then this one, then this one, then this one. So you'd end up, like that would just take forever to play. So that's actually that's sort of like, so the game actually just goes through sector by sector. But once you get on the run, you then need to, like we'd be then advancing as we come back through. If we lose a battle, we then defend at wherever we came from. So we'd then be back here defending, for example, where the enemy would then be coming through. So it's sort of one of these things where it's just like a big tug of war through the actual real world map. But I'm going to not do that one. If I right click, if I right click it, then gets rid of it. So what I like to play is just very, very limited. And I want to actually just water. I always like the idea of being able to fight across water, but it sort of makes it a bit difficult. Like particularly in through here, this would be very hard to cross. But what we might do is actually just maybe even just go across here. So if we just set up our first map there and then just the second one back into here somewhere. There's a village there. It's going to go all the way through that mountain. Actually, it's going to be a bit too much. If we go this way. So if I just go there and then right click, I'm then just going to get 4 maps, essentially. So I've got the first one we start there as a meeting one. If I lose that one, I then get pushed back into there. So that one's probably a little bit too small. Let's go back a little bit. Let's start back there and then come back down this way as well. So there is actually that little village. Just see if it spreads out a little bit better. That looks pretty good. So there's essentially there's 5 maps in this particular campaign. Because it's a dynamic campaign, it means that it doesn't just mean that there's 5 battles. It could be as short as 3 battles if we can sort of race forward. Like that's going to be sort of like the final, like the actual. What am I trying to say? There'll be a home base somewhere in there, and similarly back up through here as well. There'll be like a home area at the top that has to be defended. Might be an idea for us to try to fight that way. Actually, I might just do that again. Start here and end here. I did it the opposite way. That's interesting, I think. Actually, not quite. Let's just randomize the sectors again. That looks... I would have liked to just see a little bit of that water. Do it a bit more. See if you can just push back a little bit for me, please. No, it's not going to do it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just tweaking what the sectors actually are. So we start off there with a bit of forest on the actual, in the middle of the map. That's going to be interesting. And then we have an open plain, and then we have the city. Actually, I'll do this one. This one, when we get going, this will be an interesting one for us to then go and play. So everything else is in through there. That's okay. We'll just go and click on done. So that's now going to be our campaign. We then actually have our different forces. So I'll play, we've got a whole lot of different armies we can play as, like the orders of battle. So US Army, USSR, Finland, FRG, GDR, the British Army, Poland, and so back to US Army. I'll play US versus USSR, why not? Let's just go and play that one. So I can sort of set up these whichever way I want that one to go. So they've got like different orders of battle, different sort of units that they can come back through. The way it works is the training is sort of like your basic troop abilities. So in this case, the US Army is better trained than the USSR. The morale is also just how likely they are to stay in the fight. It has a bit of a bearing. So they're, again, the better trained units. The USSR, in contrast, gets more units because this makes their units cheaper. So they end up with more units that we then have to fight against. The command delay, the way this one works is you've got 20 seconds and then you've got another 20 seconds essentially coming back in. So it's 40 seconds basically for sort of bringing command across the, and it will show you how this one works. If they have orders, they'll try to fulfill the orders. if they don't have orders, there's a bit of time to where there's a bit of a delay. And so this is actually a really interesting part of the way that this game works. For the USSR, there's always a 30 seconds command delay. The artillery delay for us is between 1.5 minutes to 5 minutes. For them, it's between 2 minutes and 20 minutes. So it's a big delay potentially with their artillery. But that's depending on what sort of artillery they're using. Combat power, we haven't got any sort of anything in through there. Now, the type that you then go in with, like mechanized, is going to be mainly sort of like BTRs on the Russian side, and sort of M113s, for example, with a combination of tank. If I go into and hover over this one, you can see there the force type determines how many points can be spent on different equipment categories. And it sets the basic AI opponent behavior template. If the force type is infantry, then the AI usually advances with its infantry units dismounted in front and tanks follow behind, supporting the infantry. The infantry AI favours covered terrain instead of open ground. If you want to use your purchase points freely, then select the dynamic force type. If the player has the dynamic force type, the opponent purchase points are calculated from the amount of points that are spent. So if I go across, what that's trying to tell us is that we've got infantry, we've got the mechanised, we've got armoured. So they're the ones that are sort of set down with points. And then you've got this other one called dynamic. Now, you don't get it on the other side here. You only get it on the player side. And so with this one, with dynamic, there's no point limit. So you just get to spend what you want to spend, and depending on what you spend, the AI will then sort of make up, like they'll then build theirs based on what the player then spends. So I think I might just go with mechanised, just so we get like a fairly good mix of different sorts of things. I don't think it'll tell us what mechanised does. Yeah, that's going to be okay. If we go with dynamic, there's no way we can switch around with it. But if I leave it with mechanised, it then becomes a campaign that I could actually go and play, from the reverse angle if I wanted to. The year I like to sort of play, June of like in the same year-ish that we're in, so ending in 5, so 2025 as opposed to 1985. Time of day, it sort of has like this again. We can sort of have like different sorts of start times for the first battle. So I can sort of go back into even night time, and then sort of where it can come into like this is on dawn. So this will then change what we can see and how things sort of then operate. So playing as the Americans, I'll just go in where it's just got a bit of daylight. So we'll just go with early morning. This does actually have a bearing in the game. So this is dynamic. The weather as well can be dynamic. There's no random there, which I wish there was. That would be good. Wind speed is random. The day temperature, again, I wish that could be sort of semi-randomised as well. The terrain is going to be summer terrain. This is where, because it is going to be summer, like we've got summer, barren, desert, jungle, spring. This will then sort of change the way the map looks. But I'll just go with summer. Ground conditions good, and destruction 0. So again, that will then change what the map looks like. It won't sort of change too much about what does actually happen there. So what Robert's saying, it's a meaty tooltip. It is indeed. It is indeed. So the jungles of Shekia. There we are, says Istar. So we'll go with this one, just like the way this one works. By the way, we can also then change where some of the buildings will have destruction on the actual map, and so there is like a random sort of as if it's been an ongoing battle. But I'll leave that one off for now. But you can actually have that one go way up, like you can have it so that it's basically full destruction, forests are burnt down, buildings are sort of destroyed. So you can sort of have like a combination of how things actually sort of work there. Maybe I'll just put a little bit in. Maybe I'll put in a 10%. Just so there'll be a little bit of variation in the actual map itself. All right, that'll do us. So we'll just click on Done. So the combat power, you'll see there that this is not allowable. At 1,600 combat power points, if I go backwards, I can sort of go down to 1,000 points there. But this is not able to be balanced with the USSR. Now, the reason it's got like such a varied limit between like 1,000 and say 3,000 is that depending on what happens, like it needs to have a minimal number for when it's defending, and then a maximum number if it's assaulting. So If we have 1,000 points in through here, it will also have. If we attack with 1,000 points, it will defend at 1,000 points, and that's actually way too easy for them. So we need to get to a point number. Like if I go to 2,000 points, that's now allowable. So if we're attacking with 2,000 points, it will defend at 1,100 points. If we have the if we're defending, they'll attack with nearly 6,000 points. I'll just go down to the minimum number and just see what. Yeah, the 1,500 is not enough. I'll go to 2,000. We'll just leave it that way. So now the unit selection, I will go manual for mine and then auto for the USSR. So they'll actually bring their own different sort of force in. So this will be sort of like a minimal force that we go in with. We can get up to I think 15,000 if we wanted to, but on these smallish maps we don't want too much. Mate, just go one more click, 2,500. That'll do. So they're going to come in with 7,000 points or defend at 1,400 points. That's going to be sort of like what's going to be happening. All right, but if there's a meeting engagement, we can also tweak it so it gives the opponent bonus or penalty points. The opponent base points usually depend on the player's points. So we can, if we're sort of struggling with the game, and look, to be honest, I struggle with the timer in the game. I don't like that. I wish that there was a way to tweak that. But anyway, that's sort of where we are. Advanced is it's just going through what percentage of your points can then be spent. So you got up to 200 points ultimately, just where you can sort of shave things off. And this is where it's a bit like fairly similar to what we sort of see there with Broken Arrow, to be honest, the way it sort of does work. So you can tweak the settings if you are wanting to do different things. But anyway, we'll just go and get done. We'll just go and start with that one. So that's going to be fine. Now here we now need to spend our points. So we have a maximum of, this is the maximum points we can then go and spend in the different regions. So I'm probably going to be wanting to, like of the 2,500 points, I've got 1,750 points in through here with Armoured. Same with Mechanised as well. Thanks for the subscription there, Luke-Sec. So White Rabbit saying, random question. Hope you don't mind me asking, but have you ever played Workers and Resource? I do have it, but I haven't actually played much of it. It's a game that I do want to play, but I just haven't got to it. Yep. So and Luke's saying, nice to see you playing this amazing game. It's an incredible game just with the with what you can do with this. And so once we actually build this force, this is going to be our force for defending and also for attacking. So we've only got 250 basic infantry. Let's just have a quick look at each one. So there's things that we just can't afford, like an armored cavalry platoon, for example. These have got like tanks, so M60 tanks, and then we've got like different scout sections back and through here. Some with M113s and then M901s as well. So this would cost a lot of points, but we've only got 125 points. So we've got dismounted scout sections, which is just a team on the ground, a couple of teams. That's probably what we're going to end up with, to be honest. We do actually have one that can be where we've got two teams and two M113s. I probably don't really need that one. That's going to take up all of my points. I can get multiple of these. We may go back to this. For infantry, again, we can't afford a full-on infantry company. I don't mind the idea of actually having like a platoon, like just bringing in a team that's going to be sort of fairly. This is an air assault infantry platoon, where their morale. I don't know if I can tweak their morale as such. If I go back down to this infantry platoon down through here, very, very similar. Their morale is slightly lower, but everything else is pretty much the same. So we sort of have like the full squad there, just going back in. So this one, if I got one of these, we're going to end up with an air assault rifle squad. And this is just going to be essentially just rifle squads and rifle platoons. A little bit cheaper, maybe sort of easier for us to go that way. The infantry HQ is just a command team, if we did bring one of those in. Probably likely to make one of these into the actual command group, where we don't actually have like full-on groups. For the mechanised detail, we do actually have, for example, infantry HQ, which is just the troop carrier back and through there as well, which has got the HQ as part of that. We've got the M113. We've got a couple of those with the Manpad team as well, just for sort of anti-air with Stinger missiles. That one's probably not too bad. It's 265 though, so it gets a bit expensive. We've got full-on companies where we've got like the infantry platoons, which are then made up of APCs, along with rifle squads. So if this one's actually not too bad, mech rifle squads back and through there. That actually looks pretty good, actually. I don't mind that. M2 HQ back and through there. So a bit more of a heavy hitting sort of anti-tank guided missile type arrangement. So this would be like essentially an HQ that we could actually make use of. 1,000 points there. We were just going in with infantry fighting vehicles and mech squads. Minimal. I do want to get more actual infantry than what we're sort of seeing through that sort of squad. So that's just a platoon, but it's a heavy hitting platoon. So let's actually, I haven't added anything at all yet. The tanks that we have available. So you can see there at 1,700 points. If I go with an M1 main battle tank back and through there, I do actually have for 1,300 points. I've got that one. HQ is just going to be 2 tanks. Tank platoon there, 1,400. M1 IP. So I'm going to be wanting to reserve one of these because that's all. Actually, what have we got on the second page? It's an M60. We've got 5 of these. These are much weaker, so I probably won't worry about those so much. You can see there the armour down through the bottom there. If we go back to the M1s, if we go back to this tank platoon here, the armour is 254. This is heaps more. We end up on these tanks. These are much more survivability. And if we go back to this platoon here, where it cost me, I save 100 points, and 100 points is going to make a difference here. So if I just go back to that one there, it's got a lot less armour. But so we'll sort of think about that one. In support, we then actually have anti-air, which I probably will be wanting to get a little bit of that in. It's not going to be great, but it'll help a little bit. We've got anti-tank sections as well. I don't have very many points this way. They've got the man-pad sections as well, where we've just got like red-eye teams. Stingers. Again, fairly cheap, but we don't have many points there because we went with sort of fairly minimal total points back down this way. This is where just going with modify, like if we went with dynamic, I'd be able to then sort of get whatever I want. I think we'll start with, I'll start with, which infantry should I grab? I sort of need to have like an HQ. If we go to this troop carrier, it then allows me to move around, but it's going to be killed off fairly easy. Let's go with a, why is that one more? That one's Air Assault Command Team. It's just got assault rifles and hand grenades. This one here has got more members, which is why it's more expensive. I'm going to be keeping this one further back, I think. So let's go and add this one as our HQ. So we'll just go and throw that one in. So Air Assault HQ back in through there. That's the now that then means that I really don't have any other infantry I can bring in. I'm going to also just go with a couple of dismounted scout sections. So I'll go with and add 2 of those in. So they'll sort of now be part of what we then have in through there. The infantry is going to be important. If I go and I really don't. I want to get one of these. Let's just go and grab. Let's go and see if we can actually grab one of these to start with. I don't know if I can actually tweak the and edit what we have. I wouldn't mind just removing one of those tanks just to give myself a bit of points, but I don't think I can actually do that one easily. So it's sort of one of those things where if I click on it, all I can do is remove it. I can't actually open it up. So I'll pop that one in there. It only gives me 200 points left, which is not enough. Yeah, so if we go with the that mech platoon there, well, maybe we can do that one. This one gives me like basic. I get my basic guys. Mech platoon HQ. If I get rid of that one there, Air Assault. I'll just go with that group. And then we'll just go back this way. Oh, hang on, so that's the total we've spent. That's the total we've spent. So I can go and grab that one. Now we're up to 2,000. We've still got 500 points. And we can grab... Do we go with another one of these infantry platoons? So we have Stingers. I've got like... these here I've got like anti-air. So M163s. They're not going to be fantastic. All they're using is just machine guns, whereas the sort of Stinger sections can at least have a crack at taking things down with Stingers, if they can see them. It's going to then chew in what we can then go and get. If I don't bring some sort of anti-air in, we're going to regret it, I think. The red eyes, these are motorised. I probably won't bother with the motorised. Just bring the teams in, just one team. 150, so we lose 100 points there if we go with the red eyes. And this one here, Stingers are still actually the Night Vision 500. Yeah, I'll go the cheaper one. I'll just bring it in because we don't have a real lot that we can then go and do. Sharatha's saying, I think you need Bob. Bob is the guy with the knife, yes. So Von Schwanit's saying, are the Soviets attacking or defending? Well, we have to set this one up for everything. There will be, the first one will be a meeting engagement, then we join forces, and then if we win, we'll then be pushing them back. If we lose, we'll then be defending on the next map. So so it depends on what we end up having. So we've got a little bit into here. Let's just go back to our mechanised infantry. This one's just on cargo trucks. You know, I don't mind that. It's nice and cheap, but it does give me the units that I need. So we get a basic infantry platoon that way. Up to 2,400. And there's a motorised infantry troop carrier. That would be HQ. Nothing in there that we can do. We can still get an anti-air section there. Why not? Give me a little bit of extra abilities there. So that takes me up to basically right on the points. Let's leave it that way. Air assault infantry. Let's just have a quick look and see this one again. That was the 107. Is there any others that we would like to get? If I got rid of that one, I'm not really going to be able to get anything else. So I'm thinking that we just go that way. This HQ here, I think, will then become our main HQ. So let's just go and click on done. So that gets all of our points that are done. What I want here is the ability to be able to hit hard with the tanks, so that you can see they're taking up like a fair portion of what we end up having. So we have to protect these a lot, but the mech infantry, at least with the M113s, actually if I do get rid of this group in here with the trucks, yeah, look, I'll still keep the cargo trucks. I mean, these are really, really shitty in terms of protection. If we have a quick look and see what they've got, if we go back to the, that's the 253, then we've got the mech infantry platoon back this way with the M113s. They have a bit of better protection, not a hell of a lot, but it's going to allow, the trucks I can sort of leave in like safe areas. And so Sigmatico is saying, would the NATO forces not have the Air Force for anti-air? Well, you have to then spend those points as well, and we don't actually have any at this. We bring them in on a map-by-map basis along with main artillery. So, for example, I've got 3 pages of this. I would have liked. That's another point in through here. If I got rid of that guy, I could then bring in an anti-tank guided missile section back in through there. I can't afford the combat engineer platoons. I could bring in a mortar section. I can bring in an actual infantry team. I quite like the idea of that. Quite like the idea of this, actually. Heavy mortar section. 4.2 inch. This will then give me in battle ability to then hit an area. I think I'm going to ditch this and go with the mortar. I can't get two. There we go. That'll sort of get us up there. So we're just a shade off what we can then go and do. One thing we can also then go and do is try to set certain things up where we do have the ability to change things, I think. Actually, I'm not sure where that actually is. Hang on, I just got rid of the scout section there. I'll just leave that one back there. Don't think I can actually move them around. That's okay. All right, so I've got the dismounted scout section back and through that other side. So we're back up to where we are. I do need to have the scouts. The scouts are really, really important. Okay, let's go and click on done. So that's going to be our team that we take into the map. So this is actually now the dynamic campaign is what it's going to be called, but we'll just call it as, I forget which actually map we're playing on. Dynamic. There we go, and we'll just save that. So save the campaign to the user campaign folder for later use. So we'll just go and throw that one into there. The Pilsen region, there we are. So we've got the round length disabled. Now this is actually where you can actually have, so this one here, if we go and set this one up, if you want to play the game using the rounds, which is quite similar to the WeGo system, popular in war games, then you can set the round length. In Armoured Brigade 2, orders can be issued when a round is in progress, but it's not possible to pause or save the game. So this is sort of a bit more like combat mission, so you can play it like a combat mission type game, where each round then is played like it plays out like 30 seconds at a time, 60, 90. So you then can actually give your orders and then actually sort of go back and play those, or up to a fair few minutes. But if you play it with disabled, it becomes a real-time game. So I'm going to play real-time with pause, so I can actually then pause the game. Player character, what player character does is this option forces you to assign yourself to a unit in the battlefield. If you die, the scenario ends. Your ears follow the player unit's position and orientation, and you hear every sound on the battlefield. If the sound is close enough and loud enough, the player unit has no command delay and has a static morale value. It can act as an artillery observer and can call HQ helicopters for help. In linear campaigns, the option is controlled by the campaign designer. So in this case, I won't play with that on. It sort of makes it so that we end up with an actual character that we then have to sort of go and do. Reduce delay. This one here reduces the player forced command delay significantly. So if you're struggling with that command delay, then you can actually have that one turned on, because we could end up like waiting a minute for something like after we give an order for the units then sort of to be able to then do what they have to do. Show hidden in the after action report. I like this one on. So if the option is enabled, you'll see all the enemies, hidden smoke, etc. in the after action report phase. But after the combat is finished, you'll be able to review the enemy order of battle. So it's sort of like with these dynamic campaigns, if you don't have that one, you're left a little bit in the dark as to what actually did happen at the end of the battle. But I like to see that one on. Show victory levels. This one actually just shows the victory levels in real time without the fog of war at the top of the screen. Again, this one just gives you a bit of a feel for how you're going, and always play enemy sounds. I've just got this one turned on. This option is enabled and all the battlefield sounds are always played, even if the sound source is not detected and identified, and if you don't have the player character option enabled. So I'll leave that one on. It depends on where we are in the battlefield. We'll hear different things. I don't mind that. It's just for the immersion more than anything. I did actually download a mod actually to try to improve the sound, so we'll see how that one goes. This is where we can change the training and morale, again, if we wanted to boost anything in the actual game itself. Let's get into it. Go and play. So it looks like seeing the sheer amount of content and customization option in this game is awesome. Yes, it really is cool. As Milfy is saying, do you think the red eye is enough for AA? No, not really. But to be honest, we're going to be struggling. Now, in this first one, we end up with a whole lot of different points that we can then go and spend. So we've got another 966 points. Well, you can see up to it's sort of given us like a bit of a bonus up to 3,220. So we've got like about 800 points to spend with what we actually have. So or 966, is that right? No, it doesn't quite add up, does it? No, that's okay. Oh, actually, no, it is. That's right. Yeah, so we've got this. This is the points we have to spend. So we're going into a meeting engagement. So we now end up getting to sort of add in these points. These are not part of our core group. These are just coming in to help us. So we've got A10s like thunderbolts. If we're wanting to sort of we've got some air-to-air attacks into here. Now there was a question there before about we would be using the Air Force for the anti-air. No, it's sort of where this is the delay to bring these in means that we can't actually intercept. So actually to have these actually like it's more, these are sort of more going to be coming in to do like an attack on a portion of the ground. Even when they attack, they don't show it. They don't tell us what they see. We'll see them often attacking things because they'll be attacking and they'll find their own targets as they fly in. But we can get some clues as to what they're doing just based on what they actually perform in the combat. We can sort of tell them where we sort of want them to go, but they'll then make their own targets as they come back in. So the A10s are going to be like the Thunderbolts are going to be like these are costing a fair bit of points. We've got Corsairs coming in as well. And so these are going to have it's mainly going to be the bombs that are going to be the things. If they happen to come in at the same time, they do actually have air-to-air missiles. Phantoms, again, cluster bombs. It's mainly the bombs that are really what we're interested in through here. If we then go with the actual helicopters, these ones do stay in the battle, so they stay there for a length of time. But again, they're mainly for taking out different units. Now they do struggle a little bit in combat. And again, we don't have real control over them. We can tell them basically where to go, and then they sort of come in and help us. And then we have like some scout choppers as well, with no actual loadout. These have just got armor, so these are going to be mainly for these ones will report. So these are much more working with us in the combat. So 438 to bring one of those in, and so I can't change those things as such. So with the artillery, I then can also with the artillery I can off-map. This is the off-map artillery, and artillery minefields may be available. But you can see there, I actually don't have enough points. This is not going to be able to. I can't afford to actually bring any of these guns in, so I really am limited with to what we have through here. Now, if whatever points I spend will be what the enemy has to, not in this sense, but overall, the full mix will be depending on what I want. So I've just got to try to make sure I get my balance right. So what I think I'll do here is I will go and get the one of these groups, I think. So I'll bring in a helicopter. So I'll just bring in some Hueys. Is that what these ones are? The AHs. Anyway, and then we've got that. Then sort of allows me to still bring in like Corsairs or something, or I can actually bring in these Phantoms. So these Phantoms have got the 10,000 pound bombs. I might as well bring them in, I guess. Actually, these got air-to-air missiles, cluster bombs. I don't. It's just that if they come in at exactly the same time as the enemy does, then maybe we go that way and just see if we can actually do an interception. It's going to be really hard to combat. We've got combat air support there, which let's go and bring those in. So we'll bring in a group of Phantoms as well. So that's so we've got the 4E Phantoms coming in to hopefully be able to use the air-to-air missiles. They do have cluster bombs as well. Not as good as these. We've got the 1,000-pound bombs there. All right, let's go and click on Done. Now that we've actually got aircraft, we have to now go and tell them what to do. So Luke's saying, what do you think about the AI in this game? It's actually incredibly good. It's one of these things where the AI really does give you it really stretches you when we play. So this is actually now the map that we are playing on. Our first map is mainly a forest map with trees and so on and so forth. So our tanks are going to be minimal with what we end up doing. The meeting engagement is this objective here. So it's what the AI does incredibly well is it will use the flanks to try to get in behind you and then cause all sorts of issues. So you really have to defend properly the areas that you're actually that you've actually then got. So it's quite a difficult in that sense. The game can be very, very unforgiving. They'll suddenly appear behind you, just with the way the AI does work. So it's sort of they're quite good. The AI is very, very good in this game. The big difference between this and Armored Brigade 1 is that we now actually have the ability to zoom in and should be able to. Oh, hang on, I can't see it there. Why can't I see the 3D? Thought I could actually go and do that. I've not used to my. Thought it was middle mouse button allowed me to do that one. Can I do that one yet? Can't I go in? There we are. That's 3D there. It's not using the middle mouse button. Yeah, I don't know what I've done here. I'll just do a quick save. But this one, what's going on? My middle mouse button is not performing. Just going to go back to options and have a quick look at the. I'm not sure where the tooltips are. Sorry guys, I haven't played this for a little while. Oh, there we are. So these are all the different tooltips. So pan, middle mouse button, click and hold. Which is what I was doing. That's frustrating. For whatever reason. I might just restart actually. I'm just going to save the game. So I'll just go back in and so I'll just do this one as a manual save, and I'll just go back out and just quit out because that should be clicking in. So I'll just save and exit the program entirely. For whatever reason, my middle mouse button just wasn't working. Oh, the C button! I turned that on, didn't I? I turned that on. Yeah, in that case, I'll turn it off. You're right. That was me. That was entirely me. So I changed the panning. Thanks, Dragon Soren. Yeah, that was. I just literally turned it. So we'll go and play again. Just play the game. I think I'll flick that one back off again. Yeah, that'll definitely be it. That's the one. I forgot. I just did that one literally at the start. Let's go back out and load game. Is it the same one? Yep. That's. I don't know what that one's doing. Anyway, that's okay. We'll just go and load this one in. Here we go. Right. So we're back in here. Now it works. So the game is a bit clunky in the sense that it doesn't lock into units. When you start playing games like Broken Arrow, you're going to be sort of automatically now flicking on and then starting to try to zoom in on a unit. It doesn't do it that way. So it's actually a bit. It's not as the user experience is nowhere near as good as games like Broken Arrow, but the actual gameplay is very, very cool. So it's sort of one of these things where it does take takes a little bit of time to get used to how to sort of maneuver and navigate around the actual game itself. The first thing I'm looking at really is what the heat map over through here with the heights is going to then provide me. And we can see down, even when we get down fairly low, if I sort of scroll back down, we get a feel for the hills, and these are important, but we're not going to be seeing past, like this hill that we're coming up to here, we're not going to be really looking past this. So even if we're in the middle here, we're not going to have, we're not going to be able to look into this value, into this area here. So this meeting engagement, we're going to have to go and take this location and defend it. There's only one location on this map. It can be different. There can be other sort of placed, sort of in, like these are random placements on the actual map itself. But this is going to be sort of like where we're going to have to rush in. So we have to assault this, and to do that one, we're going to need to essentially create like blocks on the road. So they're likely to come through these road networks. So we have to sort of plan ahead as to what the AI is likely to do. And so we'll need to set up traps around these areas if we can get to them fast enough. We have a very, very good road there. We have a great road here that goes all the way straight into the objective and across here as well. So we'll be wanting to rush in to probably around about here and then set up maybe in here to do the assault. So now we have to sort of start to plan. And it's dynamic planning because, because the map is just, essentially it's like a random map, even though it's a real world location. But in this case, to get this hilltop, we're going to need to sort of plan out what we do. If they can get fields of fire at us, that's going to be a problem. And we're going to be wanting to set something up in here to actually be able to support what's going on. As the battle will get fairly intense back in around here, but they will also send in forces. We're going to have to defend areas, for example, out through here to stop them from breaking in behind us. On the other side, we do actually have big open fields. So we have like open terrain with some, but if we go back down and have a look down at sort of low level, we've got a road that then extends across this way. Then we have like a rise here. So we're now over the halfway limit, and then we go over this hill, and then we actually can see the back end of their areas. Now, not that we need to be there, so we don't need to be back this far, but this one, they do actually have a hill here, which actually allows them to look and see pretty much everything that's going to be happening way back over here. So that for me is actually fairly interesting. At ground level, we end up with a position where we could actually sit back there and with tanks and actually take out different groups as they sort of move through, like if they do come up crest this hill in any sort of sense. So with the way things are sort of then working, if I go back even further, they're then low, but that hill, that's actually that red line there is they have to have most of their forces set up in behind, and they can't see me. So which means we can't see them either. So we've sort of got that area through there. From here, they're most likely going to be going up this road. So they'll actually this area here could be exposed, like along here, for example. And that one again, I'm looking at that little copse of trees back in through there. It does give me a fairly good vision all the way through. Like, it's not bad with what we end up getting to sort of see through there. So I'd really like that little area there is actually quite important. That little hill. I might just pop, say, 2 of my 4 tanks in there, and that means I'm going to be separating the actual tank groups, which means we're going to then need to keep a couple of them for support back in here, I think. So just sort of planning out how we're going to approach it. This is actually so important in this game, is to figure out what to do. Now, they're going to have troops that will start on these roads. That road there is going to give them a very, very clear... They're going to get there way before I do. The scout units that I've got are going to be really important, but we're not going to be able to use them really in this area. So I'm going to have to put this. My scout team can go between the back line and the middle line. I can actually try and attempt to actually have them positioned in this line as well, but then it's a bit random, so I tend not to do that one. Because if you fail the roll for that, they end up basically randomly anywhere. What I want to do though is this rise here, I think, is going to be very, very important for like there's actually there's good abilities for us to be able to attack as they crest this little rise in here. So this one is actually a good one for us to have a unit position to be able to see what's going on. Now I'm going to place. I think I'm going to put a couple of the units back in this other side. If I go and grab the scout team here, I'll put that whole team across. Now, if I go into my my movement, if I go to space, I can then just go and move them into that position. So I'll move them into there. They will then go back across into. I can then move them up. The other scout team, I think I'm going to keep them a little bit sort of in the middle here, just so I can sort of see what's going on back out through this other side, just to do a bit of spotting. So I'm just going to go space. I'll just move them there. I can get individual units and just go and place that. Actually, that one there is pretty good. This one here, I'm just going to go and put that one a bit further across. The further away they are from each other, the less in contact they'll be, and the more the delay is that they're going to then go and get. Thanks for the subscription there, Plum Wedge. That's very, very much appreciated. And again, spending the time here is so often the key to victory in this game. You can just start playing and just see how you go, but in this case, it's not going to help you that much. So I've still set up like artillery areas and air support and tell them what we want them to go and do. In this case, it's going to be, there could be units in here, for example, so it may be interesting to sort of be able to then go and do different things. Let's just go back across. So that's now, my scouts are now in position, but they're not what I want just yet. I'm just going to go across, and if I go into their orders, so in the orders I've got like the load, unload, pop, smoke or reattach. Under standing operating procedures with both units selected, I've then got pathfinding is going to be I want them to go into cover, so I want them to essentially be under cover mode. The soft target range is going to be hold until they're fired upon, or I might go effective, and then the hard target range, they're not going to be able to really do anything there, so I'll go effective as well, even though they're not going to be able to do it. Rate of fire is going to be, doesn't really matter. Seek cover, yes, and unload on contact, that's not going to worry us because we're not actually loaded. Smoke generator, I'm just going to leave that one by default with whatever they have. Now, if I go back in, you'll notice that the little icons have now changed. And so we now actually have this, this is sort of showing us that this is going to be effective range for both of these. So I can then go back into the SOPs in here and just double check. So what they have is cover, effective, rate of fire, fast, and seek cover. So by default, that's what it was. If I go back across this unit, I'll just show you what I mean. Like if I go back into the commander, if I only choose the commander and not the group, if I choose that commander, in fact, if I choose the group, that one's got like a reddish line. It's actually not in communication directly with its command group, so it's actually now a little bit too far away. But that's okay because I still need these to sort of do what they're going to be doing. So if I go to the standard operating procedure, you can see there by default it was pathfind quick, so when they move quickly. And then they've got max. So this is the stuff I need to be changing with these units. So I want these to go standard operating procedure is going to be cover, effective, because I don't want them firing. Now, excuse me, this one, because it wasn't in communication, didn't take up we don't see that little dot there, which means that I do have to just go and change what this one does automatically. And now it's sort of, you can see that it changes as I turn the operating procedures on. Now with the others, we do then have, and I can just sort of segment out the different units and move them into other positions. So let's go with the tank platoon. I want these firing at range more than anything. So I'm going to go and place I'm just going to press space and just move them down here. Depending on how I want these to operate, so this particular group is coming back in with, we've got the E2, E1, EO and E3. So let's use E2, and actually with the standard operating procedure, I'll just leave these where they are, like with their SOPs will be maximum soft target, maximum range. I think I'll still put these back, I might put the whole lot back down to effective. So again, we've got communication through the whole lot. Standard operating procedure. So I'm just going to go pathfind will be quick, effective. Let's just go that way. Rate of 5 doesn't really matter. Use main armament. I'll just leave that one again with its defaults. So again, these have now been set up to be more effective with their firing. A lot of the infantry have been set up with, so these are the trucks that we ended up having. Let's actually just go and position our tanks where they need to be. Actually, I might just move these out of the way as well. So I'll just go and press space, and just move them down there. Got the man pads. These man pad teams, I'll end up probably splitting these up just to sort of be with a couple of the tanks. I'll manually position these tanks So I want these tanks to get into a position where they can fire along that road. So I'm going to start there. So I'll start on that road. And I'll get E1 and as well. So they're both going to be in that position. And then these are going to go into that little group of trees, which are way back over here. And the final one. Because we're now moving these out from each other. So that was that little group of trees on the... Actually, no, it wasn't even that one. It was back this one here. So I'll move them all the way back to this corner. So they will be able to take out things as things cross the side there. We don't have any real big opening areas back into this other side. So again, we've got like things that are a little bit unusual and a bit different. These red eyes. We also have these as well. And so these have got the rate of fire fast. Yeah, that's going to be okay. These VADs. So let's go and throw one of these in across with this group as well, just to sort of try to protect it a little bit. So we'll just go and position it, say here. And we'll also bring a red eye in as well. Maybe just to here. Okay, so that will then just sort of sit there, and if the aircraft spot those particular ones, then hopefully that will be enough to protect these against attack. The other ones that we've then got is the red eyes. This one here, not going to be able to see much. It almost, if it flies off, it's almost worth keeping this one back at the back of the map here somewhere. So I think I'll just leave that one. Probably just away from that creek. Maybe even just on this side. Actually, no, then it's going to be stuck in there. I'll just bring it over to here somewhere. That'll do. All right, and the man pads will then... where's that other group? There it is there. Manpad team. We'll probably need to again just support whatever goes on, on in this way. So I'm just going to go and position that one back in here. This is the destroyed terrain, by the way. So we end up with sort of like burnt trees in this instance, just a small amount of them. Right. So with what we want to do is we want to get the armored group up to try to assault that the meeting engagement. So I'm going to go and throw the M113 platoon, and I'm just going to change what they do. They're going to end up over through here. So if I just go across to space, I'm then going to go into their orders, and actually that's all okay with what they've got. Formation type, I'm going to go with a echelon left, and we're just going to go into very, very tight. So spacing will just be, if I just use the minus key. No, that's going to be that one. Shift minus. Nope, it's still lit. It's still moving up. Formation minus spacing. Okay, that's about as narrow as it's going to get. That's okay. It's sort of on the road, just to follow in the tanks. So they'll then sort of move in with the tanks. We then actually have our other infantry. And so I'm going to keep these actually on this road here to sort of move up into this area. So we'll actually have them in a line along this road just to move up and try to take this hill back through here as well. There will be scouts from the enemy, which we're going to have to contend with. So I'm sort of trying to use my scouts effectively that way. Let's just go back to formation. In this case, we'll go to a column, and we'll then just go and change the formation. And that's probably good enough. So if I just now go and press space, so they're going to be starting on that road, so we can then sort of have them sort of moving across the road. Whatever orders we give a unit initially, it's in fact I might even move these off the road a little bit, and actually just have them come up in a different angle. Actually, no, I'll leave them where they are. No, I will move them off. I'll just move them back to, just so that they follow in. Because we don't have formations, we've sort of taken the formations off these guys. I'll move that formation all the way across. So they can then sort of race along that road as fast as they can to try to secure the central area. That one's okay. The mortars, I'm happy enough for them to sort of be close enough, so I'll just leave them probably where they are, or even over here somewhere. So they can sort of give support. And so that one's now done. Just looking at what we've got laid out everywhere, it looks like we've actually got everything pretty much where I want it. So I think we're actually okay to go. I always forget something, so I'm just going to go and save again, save the game. Let's auto-save one there. Just go and save over the top. But this, yeah, getting this one, like if you screw this one up, it becomes a bit of a problem. So we're going to try to take this area. We'll assault into here. There's some open areas once we get beyond this one, but I don't want to be rushing in with my tanks. And and the first thing we need to then go and do is tell them what to do. So in this case, these guys will just be looking out across that field. One thing we also have is the line of sight tool, where I can sort of then go and click on the units. Well, actually, why aren't we seeing that one? Line of sight. If I yeah, there we go. When I click, so from that unit there, we only really get to see that ridge line. That's okay. I don't mind that. In fact, if we just go back across at the at what's happening further back, yeah, these don't get to see past the tree line. That one sees a little bit better further back. No, it's still better off where we are. Now this is only what we're sort of seeing for the line of sight, but it's the aircraft that we're looking to take out. So again, that's going to be okay. This guy here will ultimately need to get that one across. We mainly just want to be sort of spotting things. These are going to get wiped out, I'm sure of it. As we sort of come back through, you can see down along the roads, we get to sort of have a bit of a vision. We're not sort of seeing too much there. That's a good spot there. That's actually a good spot there as well. So we sort of want to sit back and watch what actually does happen here. I might actually be able to position my force there. Actually, that's good enough even where it is. So I can just keep that one exactly where that is. And then as we come back across this hill, we then start to sort of see things as they get there. But on this side of the hill, there's really nothing that can sort of see us. So they don't have a real lot that they can actually do until we actually have this meeting engagement. So the meeting engagement is going to be very, very much like road ambushes with the infantry. So just because of the nature of this map, because it is just so foresty, I hope that's not going to sort of wreck what we do. But I think it'll be okay. And this hilltop is fairly open actually. There's areas here where there is openings. If we can get into the heavy trees with our infantry, I think that's going to work fairly well. So yeah, well now the last thing we have, if I just press escape, we then get out of the line of sight tool. The line of sight tool is like you don't need it as much now that you've got the 3D modeling in the game, but it's still helpful. So what we want to do here is we want to then tell these guys to rush forward. So I want them to rush to about here and then sort of unload, and then we'll sort of go in on foot. So Yeah, I wonder if we actually, I might even tell them to actually go and do that one. Let's just give them orders. So we've got the actually, if I go back and with that one there, if I right click, I then actually have advance. So this is advance to a waypoint. I've got contact, advance to contact, scout, which means advance cautiously to contact. I've got fast to a waypoint, and I've got reverse if I needed to. So I think I'm going to go and do a fast movement into up to here. So if I just go and tell them to move quickly, they'll then move along the roads to that point. So let's just go and tell them that that's where we want them to be. And then from there, we'll then tell them, so this is the whole, should be the whole group. Yeah, we've told the whole group that that's where they're going to be. They'll still fan off in this echelon arrangement. So we may have to sort of just then come back in and individually sort of tweak what they then go and do. At that point, if I left click, it's going to continue doing things. If I press backspace, it'll get rid of the whole lot. I forget what the command is just to get rid of a small amount. But if we just go across fast, just go back up to there again. And at that point, if I then right click again, I can then go back through and do like an unload at that range. So we'll just go and do unload, and we're just going to tell them basically where to unload into. So we're just going to go and unload sort of straight ahead, and that's going to be all we need to do. At that point, I can then still go and do, like I've got set ranges for engagement, for soft targets and for hard targets if we needed to. We've got defend, try to find battle positions overwatching the waypoint. So we can defend a waypoint, which I probably will do eventually, but not just yet. That's going to be okay where we actually are there. So that's actually now the, so that's the first, like before we unpause, we've got a few little things like this we can then go and do. If I go and click on that one, actually when they get started, they'll then start to sort of tweak. I'll let them just do their own thing. I'm then going to tell these guys to advance sort of slowly, and they're going to advance up into, well, one of them is going to move into this position, and then be done with it. And the other one is going to advance along this road here, I think. I could get it to advance over this way actually. I might actually, I might have this one move across to here. So let's just go and position it on this road, and then it can just advance into this position here. And they'll move along the roads to get there. Mortars I'll keep where they are. Man pads, we want to move that one up as well. So it's going to advance and then just sort of be positioned probably in around here somewhere to try to sort of help out with whatever's going to happen. They're all okay. They've moved. These here, we want to move these ones up very, very quickly as well. So we'll just go and get the whole group. Whoops, space. And just tell them to go fast up to here. Now this is going to be, there's probably even more than likely going to end up in a position where there's where we're going to have issues. I think I would prefer them to be slightly over towards where everything actually is, and then we'll just unload everything at that stage. So we'll let that one happen there. So they've got that move for the formation. This one here is just going to stay back where it is. That one's got its move. That's about all I really need to do, I think. In terms of my scouts, I want this one to, where that one actually is you can see the line of sight there. It can see a little bit into here, which is good enough where that currently is. And so the orders here are to we've got infiltrate, which we know. This is actually where we can use scout units to try to get on the other side, which the enemy will probably do, but we won't. This is why we could end up with some problems early on. I'll just leave it where it actually is. And this one here, I'm going to move this one over even further. Actually, no, I won't. Probably be better over in here, to be honest, like just along this area through here. So I'll move that one there, and then we'll tell it to just advance to contact and just get to around one of these points, just so we can see the road. and let's leave it there. So it's going to advance until it sort of comes across something. So these are now just going to be the different orders. And this group as well, we want to get these on this hill. So I'm just going to tell it to also just advance to contact into this area. And that'll do us. And similarly this one here. That's going to be right on top of the hill. Okay, and that's that way we should be able to then see these. The only road we really don't get to see is going to be this road through here, but we'll see action. So let's just again go and save what we've got. That's the one that we're just doing now, I think. There we are, and we'll now actually no, we still need to put the helicopter points and things like this. So we've got artillery. We don't actually have any artillery, so we don't have any fire missions that we can then go and add in. So this is actually where we sort of set up how we would then sort of approach this. The air support, though, we end up having the Phantoms will then sort of come in as required, but we don't actually have any requisition, any points for them. But these Hueys have to then come in and we have to give them an entry. And so when we sort of come back through, like wherever I position the entry is going to be where they fly in from. And I think I'm going to put these probably in around here somewhere, I think. Again, I don't think it's going to have a major bearing on what happens. Let's just have the entry point there. Then we have the BP one, which is going to be sort of like where they sit and look. So I'm going to start it off maybe a little bit further back over here somewhere. So they'll actually move to this location and mainly looking out this way. And then we have a BP2, which will be sort of more over on this hill. So I'll sort of just get it so that it's sort of got this area, and we'll sort of have like like the target requisition points will be sort of more this way. So that's now waiting. The Phantoms are ready. I can't bring them out just yet. They have to then be called in. So I think we're actually pretty good here. Yeah, so I think we're actually now done with this. So TRPs, I don't really have any, so I'm just going to go and I'll place one, but no, we can't even do it. Mines, yeah, no, I don't have any, so that's not going to help me because I've got 0 points here. All right, we get started. Now, pause. So we now have got some information that we're sort of hearing a little bit around the place, and this first bit's going to be fairly critical, where we are getting like we're hearing noises essentially coming from armor in what we think is in the forest. So we're sort of hearing the noises in through this one, which does make sense. Could be some scout units backing through this other side, and then we've got more different units that coming back this other side. So battle is now in progress. They've got the advantage because this is actually on their terrain. Let's just go and keep on coming in. I won't bring the helicopters in at this stage. We'll leave them until we actually need support. So we'll just sort of wait for things to actually happen. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if we do see things coming along this road. All right, back in we go. So we'll just unpause. And the game will pause for me when it's like when we notice things. So these are all unknowns. These can be friendlies. They can be tractors and stuff like that, and there can be civilians wandering around. This is the scoring. In this case, it's going to be coming down more to who can sort of take this area, but the attrition is going to be more important with what we end up doing. So what I could do is these are now starting to fade, and so we had sort of like vague ideas. Now I could start to mark where these are, but I think it's too vague. Should be hearing our Kicking up dust. Here we go. Enemy ground unit has been spotted, and so there is actually a force here that has actually now been spotted as we came through. Now this is inside our territory, so this is a scout group that has actually now been spotted in here, some sort of vehicle, and so it'll be a scout vehicle. The teams that we have in through here, these are actually taking cover as they come back through. So we've got a we've essentially got ourselves a C113 coming along this road. So I've got it so that when it spots units, they're going to sort of end up back in through here. This is now going to really upset what we're doing because this road was critical that we got here fairly quickly, and so we're moving fast along here, which is what we're kicking up so much dust. The tank maybe has an option to take it out, but if I change its orders, it's going to it's going to stop doing what it's doing, and I don't really want to do that. I don't want to change any of these orders, to be honest. I want them to sort of rattle their way through, but depending on what this vehicle has got, we don't know what sort of vehicle it actually is. We've got the heavy machine gun. I think I'm just going to go in guns blazing and just see what actually does happen here. So if I just go, I can go into just like slow mode. Oh, by the way, that there is the command that's then coming back through. This is C0, which is the mech platoon HQ, is the passenger in here, and is in communication. It looks like it's actually the overall commander for everything. So we don't want to lose this unit. I'm going to tell it to stop, and so if I immediately give it an order to delete all waypoints, and so it's going to be wanting to move up. I could actually tell it to reverse back. I think I might do that one. So we'll just go back into reverse, back into that position there. Oh no, I can't do it because it's in the middle of what it's doing. That commander, I should have actually put others in front of that commander. I wasn't expecting to see a scout vehicle here this early, to be honest. I sort of thought we'd have a free run there. Wish I had moved the tanks up. That would have been a better option for us. So we could actually lose everything here. Let's just see how we go. So this is why I like to do safe scumming. It stopped, and we now see it's a BRDM2 recon vehicle. So it's now going to be coming through, and so we stop at that point. They're scouting, and they do actually have a gun that can do a lot of damage to us. So we'll just see what actually happens here with these two units. Now we have actually hit their front hull. They've now buttoned up. You'll notice that their commander that was actually out there scouting didn't actually. Looks like we had the jump on them, and so we've still got a gunner up the top there, which is now firing on this one and has actually damaged it. So the damage has now been done to that particular vehicle. It's firing back, but no damage. It hit the top at an angle of 88 degrees, and so it sort of essentially bounced off. Fire again. Oh, there we go. That's great. So we did take fire, but we then did actually hit it. So these were fairly weakly armed. If we've got one of them, we're going to have two of them. So there will be a second one around somewhere. Obscurance is smoke and stuff that's in like debris. So in this case, and in fact, kicking up all the dust in through here will have actually made this a little bit okay. Like you can see there, we've taken some. They're nervous. They've taken some light damage to the actual to this particular thing, but we did actually destroy that one. So that's the first one that we've now destroyed. If there's one, there'll be two. So I'm going to now move this one off. These other ones should still have their orders. Yep, they're moving off, away from the fight. These will be moving up as well, and that one's still moving up. This one is, it says no damage there, but it looks like we've just got light damage. Is what's actually happened to it. We have been suppressed as well. So I'm not going to unload at this stage. We do actually have smoke that we can then go and make use of, but I need to protect this one. Actually, this was not good. So we got rid of that one. I'm going to keep the tank rolling along the road. Let's just keep this one back on the road here. So that's going to be the first little sort of compression that we end up having running through. We've still got these man pads wandering up. The fact that that will have been now spotted back to the enemy. So this is that infiltration, but there's a chance that doesn't work. So like in our situation, we could have ended up way over here with our units, and I prefer them to be where they are. So I didn't bother infiltrating myself into these other zones. Let's just see what else we then find. Let's just unpause. Tank is moving up. There we go. We've now found found two more. So we've got a group that is in through here, which is a scout team, and so this scout team has actually gotten off the BDRM and actually and has sort of alighted down onto the ground. And then we're seeing the second vehicle, which we knew it was coming, and this is a BDRM recon as well. And so there'll be another scout group in here somewhere in what we're doing. The scout teams they're going to be similar to what we've got. So our scout team, if we have a bit of a look, 2 units. If we have a look at the information on ours as an example, we can then sort of see what we've got. Assault rifles and hand grenades. It's not going to be, like against a tank, it's not going to really be able to do anything. But they will now report back that there's a tank moving along this road, which means that they may bring out their aircraft. But let's wait a little bit longer before we try to sort of affect that. So we then end up with essentially, like in this case, you can see the training is more than what we had. Morale is fine for this particular unit than what we've sort of gone through there. Ball ammunition back in this other side. Armour is going to be non-existent for these, but we can issue go to other units as well. Night vision, just a range in through there. We don't have any night vision on these. I thought we would have actually, to be honest. I thought there would have been a night vision there. The range is 400 metres. Anyway, it's sort of these are just really designed for spotting, and that'll be the same for theirs as well. Like theirs will be just designed to spot what's going on. So again, we've caught them on the road, and if we have a bit of a look for this one here, we should be able to affect that one through there. This one here, we weren't rushing with this one. In fact, you can see there with the different icons now sort of coming back through. I think that is saying that they're within shouting distance to be able to then report. But this one here is already now facing that scout team. So this one as well. Actually, this one here has now spotted the BDRM at the top. The BDRM is not going to be able to take out one of my tanks. So we should be able to destroy this whole scout team very, very effectively and very quickly. Let's just go back to slow mode again. So we're now using the machine guns. Actually used high explosive there. It's a bird. This is where it's a bit of a danger at the top here. Unbutton yourself again. Now there we go. Scout team has been destroyed by the main battle tank. This one here is now sort of showing itself, but the tank has not seen that yet. So it's only this the commander has seen it, and so that's actually now going to be a bit more secure to start moving up along this road. I'm going to give this particular vehicle the order. Now this is going to have minimal delay because it's actually got the commander on it, and the commander is the one giving out all the orders to everyone. And so in this case, these are still moving up in formation. I'm going to tell this one to move to contact and just move past this particular grouping, and we'll just move up to say here-ish. At that stage, that one should be done. Let's just go to there. Yeah, there's a delay of it is a delay of 1 minute before it'll then take that one on. The tank should now spot this other one. There we are. No, still hasn't seen it. Whoops, now it has. Just ran into it. Destroyed. Okay, so it didn't actually spot it. This is often the case. Like the tanks are not going to, like, this is sort of almost hidden. Like this is a scout vehicle, which means it does have the ability to hide. But our the commander here, 29 seconds before this one then takes place, that's gone. But there should be now another scout group somewhere in the forest that's actually gone out from this particular one as well. So it destroyed that one very, very quickly. We are going to move across now into this zone, and they will be calling in. Like this tank is going to potentially suffer. Now this one here, we've got these have now moved up into this position, so they're actually now essentially where we want them. Is that all 4? No, it's only 3. Where's the other one? I'm only seeing 3 there. Should be a 4th one somewhere. It's not there. Oh, there's 2 there. Okay, double ups. They're sort of clipping over the top of each other. And they're moving up into that position. That's okay. We're not seeing anything else on this road, so this road is fairly clear. So this one should just be where we end up with the other recon. Now this is not designed for spotting, so we're going to rely on other forces to then find that other group. Oh, this one here, what I want to do is I want to change my facing to go down that road. So I'm going to give it an order to rotate this way. So 30-second delay before it, this is the command delay, which is a big part of the actual game itself, the way it sort of does work. So that will then rotate. This is actually digging in, or not digging in, but finding a hull down position at that position, which is actually exactly what I want it to do. The others may not have been able to do that. Hopefully they have. No, they haven't. So these haven't found a hull down position, but at this stage we think that they're hidden away. All right, the tanks are going to have minimal bearing on what happens here anyway. Now we know there's another scout team in here somewhere, so that's going to be a bit tricky for us. These have finished moving. They should be unloading fairly soon. You know, I might even move these further now. Let's go and tell them to move up to, say, here. Just to advance a little bit further. Again, a 1 minute delay. Whoops, didn't mean to do that last one. If we just go back and delete the last waypoint. I forget what the keyboard commands are for that one. Okay. Which what I can then do at that point is to unload to there. Let's find where that is. Oops. To the last waypoint. It's a bit clunky. So we've got a 2 minute delay once we actually sort of get to here because of I didn't actually string those. In fact, if I go back and delete that waypoint and just give it the orders to advance to there and then just unload. I know it's still a 2 minute delay. That's all right. Now we're sure that there's going to be something else. Like there's got to be another scout team in here somewhere. Now they're not going to be able to take on a tank, so we really don't need to worry about that one. This one here, though, I do want it to move up along the road, and then we will actually sort of move the commander off, maybe into here somewhere. But the other scout team will be in here somewhere. Not seeing anything else just yet. These are now getting off the vehicles. I'm sure there's another team in here somewhere. Absolutely sure of it. All right, so the cargo truck has now finished unloading its passengers. So we now actually have infantry teams on the ground. And we then actually have the trucks that have sort of now offloaded their different units. So we'll start to now bring these up. This is, so we've got the cargo truck back in through there, but we've got the rifle squad. This is rifle squad D5. We've got rifle squad over here D6. So these are going to be, these aren't the command group as such. So if we have a look at the information, so fairly big teams. And we'll just go and start. These have got like grenade launchers, hand grenades, LAWs, dragons, anti-tank guided missiles. So these are actually a fairly strong fighting force. And we want to go and protect and cover this area through here, sort of from here to here. So I'm going to go and grab this unit. These are now getting off at this point in time. That's D3. This will be D0. This is their commander. So I'll have one group move up to here. So I'm just going to go across and tell it to advance to that position, and so it'll move up that way. This particular rifle squad, I'm going to move it just on its own up to this area to protect this road area. So advance up to there. So sort of setting up little areas. Then we'll have a bit of a look once we're there. If we have a look and see the line of sight tool from that location, it covers that road there. If I go further down, it's probably better just to be slightly further forward. So I'm going to tweak that that last waypoint, I think. And similarly over here, how's this one going to work? That's pretty good, actually, down that road. In fact, that there is actually even better on that position there. Yeah, it's exposed, but its cover is still 60 there, which is actually high cover. So we'll tell it to go there. So if we just go and press L, I don't know if I can grab that waypoint. And we're spotting fairly effectively with these guys, so I don't think I need to do much with those. It's not as if we're going to be surprised when we walk along the road here, but I'm thinking I might actually move these now across, well, this one across this road here, and then once we get to here, I could possibly even move this one across the road as well. So let's just go and move these over. He's just going to scout, advance cautiously. This way, and similar to this one here, scouts, which essentially is almost like crawl, like they're going to be crawling along the ground, so they're going to be going very, very slowly, which is actually okay. This one here, we'll just wait for things to now develop. This one is offloading. Get these unloaded. Here we go, that's now finished. Get these guys as well up into this position. So advance to there. 2 minutes because it's further away from the commander than what it was. This is where the delay is, like, it does really kick in quite dramatically. Now we haven't seen this the enemy anywhere. This one here should have rotated by now. Let's have a bit of a look and see what it's done. Have you rotated? Oh yeah, no, it's facing the right way. I'm going to move this one across, I think. I'm just going to actually, I want to get it off the road, so I'll just go and tell it to move up into this location, and then I'll just get it to face the other position. So just rotate in that way, and then we will I'll just manually unload these at that stage. Now, if we didn't find that scout group, which is bothering me, because I'm assuming they would have actually dropped that one off at that stage. These scouts I'm actually fairly happy with just where they're positioned, just with that being able to look down into this particular zone. And then we'll do the assault with this group. All right, let's keep it going. There we are. We've now got the next lot of passengers. That's the command group. And I'm just going to move them. Oh, hang on, ground unit spotted. Okay, so it's now paused the game for me. I'm just going to advance this group across into this position. So that will then move. Now, with all the trucks that we've got through here, we don't want them really around the place anywhere. So, like that one's actually sort of dug itself in over there, which is fine. I'm just going to move these off the road. Facing doesn't matter with the trucks, they've got no armour. Not that we have to move, like once we're actually here, we don't need to be moving anywhere else. So Hoffman's saying, Armour Brigade with a big laugh heart, yes. And saying as, so if one is saying to the air, Cobras automatically hide below tree line if positioned behind trees to make them less vulnerable. They've got different heights when I do bring them in, which we can do different things. Actually, here we go. We've now spotted another unit there. Now that tank is sort of in position, but it's on the road. Yeah, now this is what I mean. Like, I thought that they may come along this road. So are these spotting it at all? Yes, this one here has. And so what will happen here is that this will now fire at this BTR. So so we should actually sort of see that one, take that one out. That's good. So this will they'll then report these, but we do have some air cover there. So once this combat starts, they probably won't spot us until like at the start, but we'll sort of watch what actually happens there. For this one here, I think I'll actually move this one across into this other position here. Advance. We didn't find the other. There may be another scout group somewhere in here as well, and then we'll just tell it to rotate along that road. All right, that way we're sort of in the cover there. So we're sort of in tree lines here everywhere. If we start to see aircraft, we're going to have to sort of scramble a little bit. All right, so let's unpause and see what actually happens here. Yep, there we go. They're targeting. Missed. Gone. All right, so that one's now been destroyed, and this is where this attrition is really important. You can see there that as we attack things, this one comes down. We've taken a few points off because we do need to get into this zone as well as we move across. They're still waiting on things to actually happen. Not seeing anything else happening in through here just yet, so I'll just unpause and just let things. It does take time for all the units and things to move around. Still waiting 20 seconds. Oh, hang on, there we go. We've got another one. So there was two of them that were actually in there. So we're actually, our positioning of the tanks, by thinking about what we were doing and getting this overwatch with the tanks in through here, really does stop any movement along this ridge line. So anything that moves on that ridge line is going to be essentially destroyed unless they can take out my units. So these will be reported, of course, back to base, but they probably won't know what that actually is. So I wouldn't be surprised to start to see some aircraft coming in fairly soon against our position. Let's just keep it going. Just wait until we see something else happen. I am concerned about the lack of scout unit that we didn't see there. It's moving all the way up. Whoa! So there's some sort of tracked vehicle that came into the zone, and we were able to take that one out again with our tank. So the tank is in a great position there, looking down along the road. That's awesome. And we're now hearing or aware that there's actually now more movement coming back in this other side. This tank will then start to sort of make its way up. 2 more seconds, and it will then start to sort of move up into its position to look along that road. I think I sort of screwed that one up a little bit with positioning, but that was great positioning. So as whatever this one was came over the top. Now the fact that that's a tracked vehicle is interesting, because at the moment everything else we've seen has just been wheeled. So that will be a tank of some type, and we managed to kill it in one go, which is awesome. So so that's good for us. This one here, I've actually got this one where the standard operating procedures are to move quickly rather than through cover. I might tell it to go back to cover. I don't think it'll change what it's doing. The fastest way for it to get into there is to move in front of the tank. These are still making their way up. They'll be offloading very, very soon. These are now slowly they'll be moving out pretty much. Yeah, see how these are also now moving? Again, I don't really want them moving in front like this. I just want them to keep in cover, actually, with all of these. So just keep all of those in cover. We're going to have to do the same with all of these guys as well. But it's going to take a bit of time for them to for that to even kick in. I'll tell them to delay that. Alright, so we're now getting forces coming in through here, which is, and again, I'm just going to, as they unload, I'm just going to go and tell them that they're to go into cover mode, and then just move up a little bit. I did make it across. Passengers there. I'll keep these M113s in the tree line. This one's actually now found itself a hull down position. And again, we'll just go and standard operating procedures, go to cover. I think I'll keep these on effective as well. So there's a 1 minute delay there, but I'll just move them up into to the edge. And again, this one here, we've got the SOPs. Just go effective. I think it's better ultimately to have that. So another one that will be unloading fairly soon. This one's getting into position. We're hearing more and more. Now we're seeing tracks moving up along here. This tank is now getting into position as well, where it may be able to get a spot down through this other side. So we've positioned ourselves fairly well at this stage. Let's watch and see what happens here. We should spot these with these units. If these scout teams should have vision on that road. Get one tank there should be more. Here we go. Unknown troops. It's in position and we are firing on them from our tanks with high explosive. They're moving off. We'll lose sight of them fairly soon. Alright, so we've now unloaded this passenger as well, so we'll just go back into standard operating procedures and do the same deal with the others, and then tell it that it's got to advance, I think, to there. That will be okay. And then we'll start to sort of move in on this objective. Might even cross the road with this one here, actually. And what the other waypoint is? Oh, hang on, that's this one here. Forget that. I had the vehicle selected as well. Little waypoints. All right, back we go. Why are they firing? It's got effective. No damage. This one should be on effective firing for hard targets. That's sort of not ideal, to be honest, with these scouts. I'm going to change them back to hold. I don't really want them firing. Again, these are sort of crawling now. Yeah. It's moving off. I don't have any real protection this way. Here we go. So scout team is now taking fire. So this one is now, what are we down to? So we've got both of them there. So what I'll do is, it's taking damage from this one. Or it's being fired at from this. I'm going to now move it back because that's the last thing I wanted that one to do. I'm just going to go and tell it to go and scout down to here and change the standard operating procedures. So we'll move away from this zone and try to get hidden again. This one's still got 34 seconds. It's going to open fire on this as well. So this is not ideal. And we'll just go back into SOPs and tell it to hold. Do not attack. You idiot! Do not attack. It's not what you're there for. You're there to watch. And I think, unfortunately, these are going to expose themselves as well. When they get fired upon, they will fire, but I want them to sort of stay away from everything. Now, I could start to make use of the mortars, but I think I'll still just keep everything until we really have a need for it. Let's go and... hear the firing. Enemy ground unit spotted. There we go. We don't know what it is. It's some sort of tracked vehicle. We should be able to take it out with this. Now they're firing here from here. Damn it. Missed. Oh, there we go. We hit it. So we don't know what the tracked vehicle actually is. We still haven't found that other scout group. It may have still been inside, but I don't think it is. this again is a problem. So we're getting attacks in through here. This will be infantry coming in. I'm going to unload the platoon here. I've got the man-pads team right there. That's going to be okay. Just leave that one where that is. So we're doing, like, attrition-wise, we're doing fairly well. We just got to start to move into the areas. Just get them close, and then move across. These are sort of on their locations. They're moving up. That's the command, and then this one's moving through as well. All right, let's just unpause. We do have rear shots here. Here we go. This is ammo cooking off. Yes, we got ammo. This is going to then obscure a lot of what we can then go and see in through that zone. These idiots are still firing. Come on, get the order. Get the memo that you're not to do that. Just move position. That way we should be able to hide. There's smoke that was popped there, but I need to keep these guys sort of spotting in this region. So we'll just keep that one coming. Now the team that was there will be able to report. Now once these guys get close enough, that's a different story, because these have only got like rifles, but the others have got full on, you know, we've got you know, different sorts of what I'm trying to think of, like bazooka type things and stuff. So they're all now moving into position. Oh, there we are. There's our scout group. In here somewhere. This is the mech platoon. I'm going to change its orders to only fire at. I'm going to tell it to hold as well, and to then try to stay in cover. I'll just move up a little bit. Just advance to this mode here. So that's the command group, I think, for the whole lot. Track vehicle. Okay, that's a problem. The man-pads team there. It's just stopping there. I think we'll just tell you to stop. T-62, okay, so it looks like we may have killed off 2 of their T-62s. There could be 2, like there could be a couple left. There could be this one plus one of the others. But we're not going to be able to do that unless we actually move these units across. And where they actually are now is, you know, this is not terribly bad. So let's just go back across. Again, what are yours? Yours is a cover effective, which I quite like. I'm going to get it to advance to contact into there, and then we've got these guys as well, which are now these rifle squads. These are all still part of C. I'm going to move them into this position now as well. So I'm going to get them to again just check their SOPs. Yep, that's all okay, and we're just going to go and tell them to advance to contact there. They'll be inside the zone there now. Once we actually sort of get into there. That'll be the first of them that will actually then make it. Yeah, there should be 4 of those. So that's D. Got C, C. Yep, this is all of them. I might bring this one up. This is D0. I'll just bring that one onto that road. So it's sort of, even though it's a command group, just go and tell it to advance. And again, SOPs. Tell this to hold, but stay in cover. Okay, that's going to be okay. Done. So these can take out that tank. What do these have? It does have an LAW, but I don't really want them firing on the tank. Now the transport that came in, that we'll have to go and try to find that. It's quite a strategic game, this game. Like, it's really like, if you blunder in, in the ground unit spotted. There's another T-62. Is that the last of them? This is now coming back through here, and again it's hunting us. Scout team. I'm just going to keep it hidden, I think. So we've got, yeah. So we'll just try to get this team to survive, but I don't think it will. I think that tank is going to find it. If we have a bit of a look at the tank itself, so it's now come off the road, and this is where the AI is pretty cool with what it does do. They're unbuttoned, so the commander is actually spotting and looking, which is a problem for my scouts. So they're actually hunting the scouts, I think, because they know that they were attacked from in here. Let's just unpause. There we go. We've actually, now that's been, so the enemy vehicle has been destroyed by C7, which is this group here. All right, so they actually, that was a, we don't know what the vehicle was, but this will be the same vehicle that came through this road here. So that was good. High explosive anti-tank. So if we have a look at the C7 as an example, it's got, it would have been a Dragon, I think, if we look at the others. Oh no, LAW. So it used the M72 to take out that vehicle. This is where we want to be getting these guys in a position where they can, probably in that corner there. I'm actually now thinking that we're moving them there in 14, and then I think we just move them up if they can sort of. What about line of sight there? There's no line of sight. There's minimal there. I'll figure it out. Let's just press L. That's the safest spot for us to hit it from. You know, there is a bit there, 40%. Not ideal. Not ideal, but that's or even further back. Let's go back to contact again, maybe, and we'll just go back into this area and see if we can actually take out that that tank from that position with this group. So they're trying to keep in cover. This will be interesting to see what actually happens now back over through here. Unknowns. This tank may get a shot on it. Whoa, we've got a tracked vehicle that's actually now come in here as well. So we've got a tank group that is actually now moving in. And we are now being attacked. So the mech squad is now being attacked from this side of the road. And we have taken damage. I'm just going to have a bit of a look. Yep, so we've got one casualty and so we're suppressed. So because we're moving, we're sort of now being seen. All right, let's keep this going. We're going to have to go across and cover this. This is where the game is pretty damn good, the way it does work. What I might do is I could use my aircraft to take out these tanks. Let's go and do that, actually. Let's go and bring in air support. Bring the Phantoms in. So with the Phantoms, I just got to tell it sort of where I'm interested in them attacking. So I'll get them interested, even though we're here. Let's position that so that it's going to sort of fly into this sort of zone. So they're inbound. The arrival time 3 minutes or 4 minutes. Thinking also the helicopters now could be interesting as well. Let's go and bring them in as well. And so we have to move them into this position here. I'm going to position them sort of on the edge of it, I think. Maybe just in here somewhere. So they're now moving as well. And if we have a look at them, they're coming in 4 minutes. 4 minutes away. So I've got to move them into their first positioning point, and then they'll look for targets. So we'll see how that one goes. Three casualties now. Oh, there we go. There's another T-62. There's lots of them. It's suppressed. Trying to fire back, but it's just not working. Taken one casualty, so we're going to be overrun here. This tank is in a good position though. Ooh, we destroyed another one. All right, so we're in the. This is what I mean. Like we've got to be across these roads. Actually, they've taken. That's a lot. It's another T-62. So they've got like a lot of T-62s coming through. What's that? We think we now killed 3 of them. We think. Actually, what's that one showing? It looks like it's been identified now. It was a tracked vehicle, but it's not a tank. I thought it was going to be a tank. Yeah, we've identified that one. This is actually yeah, one of their sort of mid-level vehicles. And that'll be the same one as one of those, I think. All right. So that's all happening. Let's just keep it going. It's going to cook off now. Come on, fire at this. Six casualties now, so we're going to lose this one. Tank that was there no longer spotting. I'm going to now get this one to scout back up into this position. Oh, we got it. Okay, so Rifle Squad actually managed to get it with one of their groups. That was C6, which is this one here. 3 casualties there, 6 casualties there. They're now panicked, so they're actually now going to be out of there. We're now going to need to use D Squad. Well, D Squad has done a good job there to manoeuvre the group, but let's go and get D6 now across. So we'll sort of get them to advance all the way over. It's going to take them a bit of time to get there. Oh, there's a group in there as well. It's D7 moving up. It's D4, the platoon HQ. So there's something in there. We don't know what that actually is. Now we've got no ammo here. So I'm going to move them way back. Let's go and get them to go fast all the way down to say here. Taking fire from... Oh, there we go. So that's actually now been destroyed by C5, which is good. Now we still actually have... So that's... Well, that actually now changes things a little bit with the aircraft coming in. I can't stop it. It is inbound. It's still 2 minutes away. Yeah, hopefully it'll find other targets further back. I'm not going to go after this one, this tracked vehicle. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to move up into here. So we'll do some, we'll just do advance to contact up to there, and then we'll just do scouting at that point into the next area. And that way we'll be inside the zone that we need to be in, and just sort of see how we go. Attrition-wise, we're doing well. I can actually sort of open this run right up to sort of see everything that's going on, but that's we'll leave that one where that is. Okay. I could hunt it with this battle tank, but I think I'm in a good position here. No longer sensing where that group is. Scouts are now in position to check for flankers this way, but I'm thinking there's going to be more now on this other side. Let's get them a bit deeper. What happened there? Oh, it's that one there. Okay, I thought I'd heard other things happening here. Yep, so we've got 2 casualties there, so we're down to basically nothing through here. This tank is finding us again, but we may be in a position to take this one out if it does come across this way. So we're still just sort of sitting here with our M1. They're going to be wiped out. Yep, they've gone. We lost B0. Now we have to pay for that, so anything we lose we have to pay for. So for us it's important that we don't lose too many units. It's a T62 there as well. So we now have identified that one. Actually that is a T62, is it? Yes, it looks, oh no, it still looks different there. I've got 3 casualties here, they're still nervous. We do have to get into this zone. And tell them to scout into here. Just see if we can sort of take that one out. Don't want to move my tanks yet until we're ready. So we're just hiding away from this sun. Is it? Hard to see it. Let's see which angle it's looking at. Oh, there it is. Facing back the other way. I won't move the tank around. These mech squads are the ones that can essentially take them out. Let's just keep it going. It's now moving. Okay, we've now spotted a ground unit. BMP. There we go. That'll be well, that'll be taken out by this again. perfect positioning. Hopefully, yeah, it's seen it. Got it. So EO has actually done a good job here. Now we should be getting close now to the aircraft. Phantoms, 56 seconds. So about, it's not too far off. You know, the scout team is going to be wiped out as well. We've now found it. Yep, so we lost B1 as well. So BO and B1 both been wiped out. So this does give the aircraft the ability to do what it has to do. If it can spot them. It's moving back. Hopefully this one will then spot this one coming through. It's now retreating. That's okay. Need it to try to survive. Inbound, 15 seconds. Here we go, incoming aircraft. So I'll just pause and watch where these are. Here they come. So I can't actually grab them just yet. We'll just go and watch them do their attack. So we've lost sight of the units that are in here, but we've told it exactly where to go. So these will then sort of come in and do their bombardment. Do it on slow-mo. The enemy hasn't sent anything in just yet either. Actually, I'll just do it on normal. Now we won't see what they see, but they will just do what they do. Here comes the helicopters as well. There they go. See how they're spotting things? Spotting their own stuff. So they're dropping bombs in different areas as they sort of fly through. So they just fly over, dropping their bombs on what they think is there. That one's now moved off, so it just keeps on going through. Looks awesome, doesn't it? Off they go. But we don't get any reports really of what they're seeing. And then just fly off the map. Nothing fired at them. That's cool. Okay, that's good. Now they were further back. We now actually have a tracked vehicle. Bang. So that one actually destroyed. There was a this C5 has done a good job here. We're down to 2 LAWs, but we've actually now destroyed a lot of vehicles with this group. And you can see there the attrition now is we're starting to sort of now really take control. So there was something spotted in here, but we don't know what actually happened. For all we know, that something could be damaged, could be killed. That road also was targeted by the other Phantom. So the Phantom will then go back, and so it's still considered to be inbound, and so it will go back and refit, and we'll then be able to bring it back in again for another strike. So with the helicopters, they're now going to move into position that we gave them. They're going to sort of be weaving around, just doing their own thing. So essentially, they're going to be doing what they're just going to be spotting from that location where they actually are. Now, as far as what they can do, if I go and select them, can I select them? No, I can't. It is selecting them, but I can't actually give them orders. I thought I could actually tell them how high to go. I'll let them just keep on coming in. They're just moving at this stage. Oh, there we go. The Phantom is now taking fire. So they're now moving back. So this is the overall map. They're taking fire from somewhere. I'm not sure where. Yeah, because they can be fired on from outside the area. I mean, they can be fired on from even from back in here somewhere that you know, even when they've gone past, they can still actually happen. Let's just watch what happens from here. That's the enemy HQ, by the way. When we set things up, they look like they're okay. Took a bit of damage. Right. Okay, we're now inside the zone, but we don't control it yet. Now this one is moving out of the way. This one's taken 6 casualties. That one's still moving into position, but it's moving very, very slowly. D7 and D4, that's the HQ. I'm going to move the HQ over. I'm going to move D7 in. And I'm going to now start to the other squad is now coming back across as well. We still haven't heard anything that's going on down this way. One truck that's now moved all the way down there. I'll just leave it on that road. So that we think that there was a team in here, maybe a scout. Could have been the scout team from here that sort of had snuck its way through. That's most likely going to be what was there. Just leave that one there so we can at least see what's happening on that flank. And we've lost sight of the tank that was in here. Still, it's now in position. I think we just stay hidden here because that's very, very strong, that particular group. Okay, just allow everything else to sort of move in. Penetration is very, very low with what this one's got with the machine gun, so it can't take on a T-62, so no point really in doing that. Just got these 2 tanks that are just, you know, basically we've just used them as to block the roads, but we didn't block this road here, but the man pads are here. See how the AI will happily, you know, move through the forest as well. Like it's pretty good. These are injured. This is why I do want to move it. Oh, there we go. We've now got a group of troops coming in, so we are going to fire at them. Fire from in here. Alright, so we now spotted more units back over this way. A tracked vehicle. There's even more still coming. Spotted another one back over there as well. As we move, there's unfortunately sort of can be spotted. There's more troops there. Here comes another tracked vehicle. We'll need to use the. We'll need to target this one. Smoke. We missed that one. Might be time to bring this one across. Go here. Haven't lost any team members yet. New troops destroyed. Okay, so they've been taken out by this group. How are we going with this? This one's now used up all its LAWs. It's only got 1 dragon left. which isn't great. I think we might take the tank out from here out. It does. It opens this run right up. These helicopters aren't seeing anything. Yeah, not that I can do anything. I can move them across into this position, but I think I'm still just going to keep them back where they are. The tanks that are here. This one here didn't spot as many. Let's go and get it to rush across to this position. So faster there. Faster there. Just get it up into this position pretty quickly. Alright, so that's going to be its orders, so it will then move. It'll move out from there, move along the roads as quickly as it can into this position here. I don't think we need to look at down that flank anymore with the tanks, so we need to get more tanks back in here. The scout team's taking fire. See how they're flanking? All happening. It's an airborne infantry squad. Falling across the road, they're out in the open. Guys, finish them off. Oh, wow, look at them swarm. We lost a scout team, backing through there. This group is got 3 casualties now and is fully suppressed. We have a BTR there as well. Have multiple now attacking this one. We've got one LAW there left. So another big push. Effective, because I think we're going to need it. Just get into range just so I can see it. Okay, we've destroyed that enemy squad that was moving through. There'll be other squads moving down this way, so I'll keep that tank where it is. Let's put in our air support. Now these are not available at the moment. We need to find this target. Lost C5, wow, that actually fell very, very quickly. So I've now sort of lost the centre. Alright, keep it going guys, keep it going. LAWs. Dragon, missed. Here we go. Come on, you can see it. You can see it there. It's right there. This one's firing at a bit of an unknown. Still more things happening back over this other side. Spot it. You can see it there, right there. It's been damaged. Okay, C1 actually took that one out. So this one didn't actually get to do anything with that. Now we do have tanks coming out the other side. How are we going with our team this way? There it is. This tank is now moving up into position. I'll just keep them where they are. Taking a lot of casualties with these guys. I'm going to start to move this one up as well. E7's now retreating. Let's get that one across there. The command delay is very, very cool. I could have snuck the M113s up just to help out a little bit, potentially. So it's now infantry versus infantry to a large degree. Here comes the tank racing along the road. I do want it to move into position where it can then sort of start to do a bit of support. Actually, what I might do is I might start to now use my mortars. So if I go in and give them orders, so I'm going to give them a high explosive. Just into the back here, I think. We do have a spotter for that. I think I need it back here though. Yeah, I can do that one. So this is going to be fire for effect. Actually, I'll just wait until it will then start to set up. So I'll wait for both of these. I'll then target this area and then we'll just allow them, they'll tell us when they're ready. Should have used that earlier. Lost D7 now as well, so we're losing units. I'm not sure where they're firing from. This one's panicked, and we've lost that as well. Geez, we're taking a big beating here. So they've taken all of that out, and here comes the tanks now. I've got 3 tanks there now. Okay, heavy mortar ready to fire. Fire for effect. This is H1, this is H0. And the other one as well. HO, fire for effect. Yep, so it's now firing. They should be firing into here. I have an off pause. Seeing much. There we go. Just allow them to hit that back area. These guys have to keep on moving. Really, into this one here is no good. This is pretty much my last hope. This infantry that we have. hit by something. Motorized rifle squad moving through. Position. Keep that one where that is for now. Should be able to suppress this. Thanks for the subscription there, Tail Sly Fox. That's very much appreciated. Sorry guys, I've been missing so many of the comments here. Okay, enemy engages D5 rifle squad in close combat. Actually, we'll just have a quick look at this one. It's been super engrossed in what's going on. So this is actually D5, one casualty. There is actually a motor rifle squad that's now sort of made its way into the trees here as well. So yeah, Dragon saying use smoke. Yeah, I probably should have. Quite crazy all of the AI to drive a tank without infantry cover into the middle of the woods. Well, we don't know what's actually around. You can see there's a lot. Actually, we've got 5 casualties on them, which is good. So that's actually, at least that's a good start for us there. If I'm trying to was saying quite crazy, the AI drive a tank, while those trees, not healthy tank terrain. Well, it's just the random map that we've got. It's the map that we ended up, this is the battle that we had. So so it's not ideal, but that's just that's what we're dealing with. The next map may be farmlands for all we know. In fact, we sort of I think we do have a lot of farmlands coming up. We still are winning, but not by much anymore. Yeah, Von Schwann saying I agree. The composition of the force the AI sent into the woods seems very random. I guess in real life that would have sent the BTRs that were killed in the open into the woods. The cap zone seems pretty random too. All of these things are essentially pre-set up, and then we then have to just make do with whatever maps we end up getting, which I actually like. So these are not curated maps. These are real world maps, but they're but it's sort of like it's a random square of the map that we're fighting over. So we have to make do with the forces that we have. But the force we have to then choose, because the whole campaign is going to be basically around this group of forces that we've actually got. So we'll just let that one continue on. I'll try to just let it keep on playing out a little bit now. Okay, that was good. So we've destroyed that one. Looks like we're going to ultimately be able to get this one as well, I hope. Maybe this, that's different again. It's funny how they've been able to infiltrate quite effectively. Start to now move this one up. Just go ahead and rotate this one this way. So they're basically not able to really help much here at all. Okay, they've been destroyed. That's good. We did take one casualty there, but we'll just keep on coming across. We need to take this zone in here. How are these guys doing? I'll just hold them for now. So they cause a lot of fire and stuff in through there. Okay, there's something else coming down this road. It's buttoned up. Get into the centre again. Taking a lot more attrition here than what I really wanted to. This tank is now moving up. It's taking fire. We are facing the right way here, so this one hopefully will be okay. We don't know where it is. There was a tank in here. Come on, spot it, spot it, spot it. There's a lot going on over this way now as well. I think the helicopters, what we'll do is they're just waiting. And move them across this zone here, which I'm sort of reluctant to do. They hopefully will be able to see what's going on. But I can't actually give them specific orders. Just keep everything sort of just working the way it is. Close. Come on, spot, 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 spot. We've been suppressed here. Rocket fire. Oh, that facing is not the way we want it. Don't want my flank facing down that way. We lost C2. Back over here, so in the middle of all the others. That was destroyed by something in the middle here. Geez, we're being overrun, guys. We're being overrun. We may lose this. It's taking damage as well from whatever's in here. This thing's still suppressed. It's not damaged as such. Just need to spot. Oh, there it is. There it is. Motorized rifle squad. Very, very close. Might just tell it to reverse. Into that position. Oh, here we go. We've actually now got a target. It's got a BMP. No damage. That's been wiped out. Got it. Okay, that's good. So we've got them sort of blocked off on those roads now. Got there more troops. Close combat. What else is going on? We've sort of pretty much wiped out everything else from down the other side. troops destroyed. Okay, that's good. This platoon HQ is still okay. I'm just going to give it orders to now fire effectively, because we really don't have much left. We've got D6, which is actually inside the zone, just inside the zone. We're still ahead in terms of score. I'm going to wait for D5 to actually get where they need to be. They are suppressed at the moment. They will come good eventually. We have our mech platoon HQ in through here as well. I'll just get yeah, they're already on effective. That's okay. Here we go. Another enemy ground unit spotted. There we are. Got it lined up. Hit it. Destroyed. No idea what it was. So this has been quite effective where E1 has been. And we have been sort of assaulted, but we're doing okay. E3 is buttoned up. That one's actually not buttoned up. This one here is fine as well. I'll wait for this one to just feel a little bit better, enough to be able to unbutton, so we can start to spot a bit more effectively. Okay, and then these will just keep on coming through. Now, there hasn't been any... Oh, here we go, another tank coming through. You should be able to take that one out. Come on, you can see it, it's right there. Right there! Shoot it! It's a T-62. It's your job. Come on, E1. C4 is now taking fire from this motorised rifle squad. At least we've got the support here of the M113. Okay, we did take it out eventually. So eventually did the damage. That's what we want to see. Right, so we've got smoke has been popped here. One's coming across, this will help. One more trips there. HQ has spotted it. Could be crew, for all we know. Enemy troops destroyed by D4, that's good. So these guys so the platoon command did actually do that one. Our HQ has now actually taken one hit. It should be helping out here. We are suppressed, they're nervous. It's still making its way through. Oh, the tank has actually now spotted them as well. Won't smoke just yet. There we are. That's good. All right, let's save that one. Just move up into there. I think that's ammo cooking off. We're hearing on that other side. Just move up slowly with the tank. Alright, it's taking fire from in here somewhere. That's interesting. helicopters haven't seen it either. Whatever it is. Aha, BMP. It's been destroyed. Again, it was a good position there. Like we've taken out a few from that angle. See how our aircraft... Oh, they're not available. Probably won't be available now. Well, the helicopters have done nothing. Probably should have moved them further over here. It's nearly over now, I think, just from attrition. This tank. Ground unit spotted. Oh, behind us. That's what they do very, very effectively. I'll keep the trucks where they are. It's not going to really do much to us, I don't think. We don't have to kill them, we just have to basically... Oh, here we go. We're taking damage now as well by something else. Been destroyed from the sound of things over here somewhere. So the scout team didn't actually find anything. To advance over to here. Still cooking off. Just the ammunition. Losing a lot here. Find where they are. Right there. There's more in here than we think. 5 casualties now. We're taking a lot here. Fires are started in that area, in that part of the woods. Yeah, so they've been able to move further into here somewhere. We've got troops on the ground there. It's going to be killed. God, it did so well too. Yep, we've lost D5 now as well. T62. Rolling into our back areas. That's where we have to sort of focus. So we're sort of now losing too many units. I'm going to keep everyone just where they are. This one's taking too much damage. I think I'm just going to now play it on fast. Just let the game run down. 260. Whoa. C7 actually managed to take that one out, even though it's down very diminished forces. So we've got another T62 there. I'm not going to be moving really from where I am. So moving up through here. I don't have enough forces left to manoeuvre. Just let it go out. What I might do is I might move the helicopters across now. So just go back to this group, and I'll just get it to actually sit pretty much over the top of this hill. So I'll move them into here. So I'll now move across. T62 in the middle there. Bam. God, they're just everywhere. We got it again though. By C7 again. These guys here with the 6 casualties. They're actually now completely out of anything that can actually help them there. Helicopters are just waiting on their orders. Oh, they should be there. Here they come. Oh, that nape of the earth, I think we can affect that. Yeah, path mode, nape of the earth. We can actually, we can tell them to go high if we needed them to. So they're flying very, very low. It's almost over now. I'll just go fast. Enemy ground unit spotted. There we are. Helicopters hopefully will be able to take this one out. Another one as well. The scout team actually destroyed one of them. That's good. So destroyed that. These helicopters hopefully will be able to spot these. Here they go. They're firing at T-62s. Firing things down this way as well. There we go. Battle has reached its conclusion. Show the after-action report. So let's just go and do that one. It's a tactical victory, but not a very good one. So just go and click on OK. So what we end up happening through here is we deployed 84 troops, lost 61. Vehicles we lost 3, which isn't too bad, I guess. There was one neutral on the map somewhere. They deployed 150 troops and lost 99. The vehicles, they lost 21 of their 28 vehicles. Mortars, they lost 3 of 6. They had 2 aircraft, but I didn't see them. So I'm not sure what they did with those. Right, so that's sort of where we are. If we go back in and rather than resuming the campaign, I can actually now go and see what they had. So this is actually what the actual layout was. They had a lot more there than we anticipated. So it's it does get fairly tricky. There is that neutral that we ran away from. There was a farmer in there, so there was a hiker or something that freaked us out. So there was actually a neutral person at that location. Back with the other ones, we've got, I don't know if we can sort of see what these have all done. No, we can't really. But what do they have in through there? A scout team. So they still had another scout team back over this way. They did control this central area. I mean, we had that one, but they actually had a airborne infantry, another scout team, a BMP. BMPs back in through there as well. Motorized rifle. Mortar, an SP mortar, self-propelled mortar. We've got the Manpads team at the back. Manpads team are there. They didn't fire at our Phantoms as they came through. BMP, mortar, rifle squad, and the T-62s were being targeted. Here we go. Look at this. This is the so these Hueys that were sort of firing down through here. They did actually hit this mortar. So there's a couple of mortars here that they were firing at, which we don't get to. They don't report that, so we don't know what they're doing when they move to these locations. But anyway, that's ended up being a good little location for it actually. So these were just firing away at different things, which was good. And that was, in the end, that was enough for us to then take victory. So not a great result for us. If I go back to the summary, I can then sort of have a look to see again what actually happened through here. If we now resume the campaign, which I won't continue on doing it, but the resuming the campaign, we now won that one. So it wasn't a resounding victory to us. So what we end up having is we've now got all of this damage that was done, and we have essentially we've got to now fix up with whatever points we've got to that we can do. We've got 830. We've got 855 points now left. I'll just get started so you can see what the way the campaign mode does work. We've got 855. Now we've taken a lot of damage through here. So this dismounted scout section, if I refit this one, like there's one of them that needs to be refitted, and this bottom one here needs to be completely refitted. So I'm going to go across and refit that. That then comes off my total points, I think. Actually, no, I've got some points. Where's my points I can use? No, that's units. I'll refit those. The tank platoon was fine. Infantry needs to be, this is with the cargo trucks. And then these as well. I just need to get these up. So I'll refit those. We're nearly up to where we need to be. I'm not seeing where the points are coming off. Oh, this is, I think it is coming out of here, where we have to essentially get our points up. I'm going to go back into this one as well and just refit this. Yeah, so as we take this one and get our main force back, we do actually have less ultimately that we can then go and spend in here. I'm just trying to find where the maximum actually is. Oh, sorry, we can get up to, we had 2,500 points. This one takes us up to 2,800. So we have a, but we have to now use these points to get fixed up. With what we have, I'll grab the phantoms again. I'll go with these with the £1,000. Actually, no, I'll go with the got cluster bombs there. The rockets. I'll go this way. Yeah, I'll go that way. We'll add that one. That'll do us, I think. So we're going in with 27. So I've still got 100. I do have scouts that I could bring in, but I won't worry about it. The enemy will then defend with the points that we have over this side. So if I then just go back and click on done, it's now going to go to the next map in that progression. And so we'll see if we can spot things that were the same as last time. So when we attacked last time, we were attacking from here. This was the hill. So we're now taking that hill. So now the map moves on, and so we now get to move a bit closer to the enemy location. And so ultimately this is the next map, and then if we take this map, this is we need to capture and hold this location here. So we need to do an assault on that, which is actually quite hard. This is and this is actually something where I don't really like the way the game does this. We've got like a time limit, and we have to do it. We don't really know what the time limit is, but our things will diminish as we sort of do it. So we have to be aggressive, and I wish there was a way to tweak the time frame that this drops, but I'm not sure how we can do that. So yeah, that's something I would love to see in the game. It's probably the one thing I don't like about this next phase of the game is it is so difficult. But again, we're now in this position where we now have to sort of, we've got scout forces that they're out in the middle of the fields. So you can see there the whole complexion of this part of the game is now changed with the assault. So with the assault, if they win this one, then they'll be assaulting us on that previous map on the hill. It's pretty cool the way it works. And so this is exactly the same hill. Like this is, if we have a look and see, that for example is where we had our this is the objective. This is where we had the tank. This is where we had like the forces that got infiltrated, for example. The other hill that we were on, that we were firing from, was actually further back. It was further back over here. If I zoom back out, we can sort of see sort of where things were, I think. Actually, it was in there, I think. Yeah, it was more in here. That was actually what we could see. But we do now have other areas we can now sort of move into. So now it's a matter of just resetting again, but we have to now get to this bottom corner. This is now the objective. You can end up with multiple objectives, but in this case we've just got the one. And so in this, so we need to figure out what's going to give us the best protection. So we do actually have these ridges. If we sort of move across the grassland, if we come in with our tanks, we're then going to be sort of coming across the top. Once we sort of hit here, we then actually have a pretty good range of what we can then sort of spot. So that's the halfway point there, I think. So we'd be able to ultimately come in and maybe even bounce into different areas with the tanks. So the tanks could actually operate in these plains. Infantry are somehow going to have to assault. Now we do actually have a road that goes all the way to the back, and we can then sort of do like a final rush, but there is actually this creek. So if I hover over that creek for a little bit of time, we can see there it's a stream. It's going to infantry trafficability there is 50, so it's going to slow them down, and vehicle is 20, so it's not going to be too much of a problem. We have a bridge there which we could make use of where it's 100% through that side, so it's not really an issue, or we can avoid it entirely. I'll just go around this other side, then we've got another creek there before we get into here. So there's ultimately going to be a lot of stuff in here with what they end up having. So this is basically now the assault on their position. So they'll be dug in. They won't be moving around very much, so we'll need to be spotting and trying to sort of locate where they actually are. So it's going to be, we're going to have like a scout units set up again. So all of these different things, we've got the same force that we had there before. This is why, you don't just pick your forces for the battle. Your forces are the forces that you've got, and then you've just got a little bit of support to come back in. So it's actually pretty cool the way it does work. So if someone's saying that forest looks like a good spot to indirect fire to hell. The forest in here definitely does look like if we had artillery, that would be great. They'll be in there a lot. So the mortars that we have will then need to be they'll probably be just to, like when we do the run, we could actually also do like a barrage of smoke to try to block this off, so that anything that is in there, even this little area in here of the a lake with the forest, is going to definitely have troops in it. So there's a bit to consider here with what's going on. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here, guys. But it's a really cool little game. I will save this because I may come back to it at some point. Who knows? So we'll just do that one there. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. But a great little game, this one.